vignettes and come up with some adaptations, modification, things like that? Yeah? Awesome. So what I would love to do just for a couple minutes, like I said, I want to stay on schedule, but I'd just love for you guys to share those back with me. So can I pick on this table here? Who was your child?
Benji.
Benji. And give us a little background on Benji.
He's pretty much a typical boy. Like, he's excited to come to class and he has a lot of energy.
25 months?
He's 25 months, yeah. His mom is very into just into appearance, I think, is what we gathered from that. And
Cleanliness, wants him to be tidy.
Yeah.
Talks a lot about how he comes in dirty after a day of preschool.
Yeah. She also wants to know about the types of meat that he's eaten during the day, which we found a little interesting. Yeah,
The lack of meat being
Okay.
served.
Just
Snacks.
So, yeah, we just thought reassuring the mom a lot, that he's doing really good. He comes into school really excited, but she looks flustered. So maybe just helping him with the welcome kind of aspect of that. Making her know.
She doesn't really engage in any conversation about what he's doing other than eating and getting dirty. He has difficulty attending, staying on task, low frustration tolerance, doesn't really stay on task for more than a couple minutes at most. So that would be the only difficulty in exhibiting that we got from the peacekeeper.
So your modification might be to give mom a little bit more attention and reassure mom that it's okay that he's dirty. He's doing a really good job. Awesome. Thank you. How about you guys in the back?
We have Pablo. He's a 2.5-year-old little boy who's a mother, father, 5-year-old sister. He attends preschool. He is only able to communicate using 2 to 4 word combinations, and it says he enjoys reading and listening to stories. But he's aggressive. It says he constantly trying to get his parents to play with him, and when he can't, he will hit them. When his sister has a toy and he wants to play with it, he'll hit or pinch her until she returns the toy or plays with something else.
And they notice the aggression is worse when he doesn't sleep well, which is
He has chronic asthma and allergies.
So what were your modifications for Pablo?
Well, we just said that we think he should have lots of visuals.
Okay.
Possibly a first then book, first
Okay.
share. First you have a turn, then I have a turn. Something like that with visual picture cue cards.
So visual pictures.
Yeah.
Awesome.
challenge the teacher to practice.
Yeah, that could be a really powerful modification. That definitely first then visual cues have had, research shows a lot of success.
Also some communication between the parents and the teachers. Like whether he had a bad night, they said sometimes he was asleep because of the asthma and allergies. Just letting the teachers know that he didn't sleep well last night. He's not feeling that great, he might not be on his best either because he's really tired or whatever happened.
Okay.
And also, we said a feelings chart. Maybe when he comes in, just have him do the feelings chart. Like, how are you feeling today? So you can use that to say.
Have a little background knowledge.
Yeah. And maybe if he doesn't know sign language, I think teaching sign language would be great. Because that's really good for kids that are nonverbal. Just, read a word and say more and showing the sign.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Thank you. How about you guys?
We had 2-year-old Jessica with significant developmental delays. She has sclerosis, severe intellectual disabilities, seizure disorders. She's very withdrawn. She does not talk, spends much of her day gazing at visual patterns, her fingers, and puffing or rapid breathing patterns. Her parents report that she has no play skills and does not care much about toys. She has some Box toys that will spin objects on them. She takes Tegretol for her seizures, drinks from a bottle, and then she attends a special daycare program for children with disabilities, is picked up each day by the program, and returns home from the program. We kind of talked about books on tape, or music on tape, as well as having some sort of daily communication with the parents because they are not the ones picking up, dropping
some outside support, maybe making that support team a little bit bigger with some extra, specialists. Awesome, thank you. And you guys?
We had 3-year-old Brendan. His parents report that he's very aggressive, only knows a few 1- and 2-word phrases, has 30 minutes, up to 30 minutes, temper tantrums, hits his brother, doesn't play well. They have real concern about taking him out in the community because he throws tantrums, doesn't do well with transitions, they've been kicked out of the library, and they have concern about getting him ready to go to a community preschool in 4 months. So we kind of said, don't wait 4 months, maybe get him into a preschool. Since he does have trouble with transitions, use timers and visual cues, that plenty of warning, like we're moving from this activity to the next activity. We do, at Caritas, we do a lot of just big timers, or put it up there so that they've got plenty of warning that we're moving on. A lot of the stuff we talked about was visual cues, an emotional chart that has pictures of how you're feeling today, angry, stuff that he can point at. Also to take him on a field trip with the rest of the class to an outdoor playground, or maybe the library, and then we've had like exit strategies if we think a child might not be able to make it the whole way, then we have a plan in place. But to not have them left out of those activities, just to kind of slowly integrate him into that routine. Maybe tour the school and meet the teachers before he shows up. A little one-on-one personal thing, so it's not such a huge change for him. And quite possibly a speech therapist for him, for mom and dad to get started on. And then the taking turns, modeling taking turns. We have Tucker the Turtle, and we go over a lot of those expectations at circle time. Get him in that classroom environment so he can see what goes on, with other friends his age.
Awesome, those are some really good ones. I really like the idea of taking a tour of the school, before he starts meeting the other teachers. So then when he walks in, it's a familiar face. He's not like, I don't know who this person is. I really like that one. Well done. So then we're gonna wrap up a little bit. We've gotten a lot in today, but just a few of the major messages, the takeaway from session 7. Children need a supportive and nurturing environment. I think that you guys kind of knew that before you even walked in today. It's important to remember that your behavior, the things you do, how you interact with other children, as well as your co-teachers, as well as your director when they come in the classroom. Children see that. They see that as a display of appropriate behavior. And then we also want to promote an environment that promotes independence and social interactions, with different centers and things like that. I know we've talked about this stuff a lot. So then the last thing we're going to do before we take a little bit of a break, you guys have been doing a really good job. I know it's a lot of time sitting down listening to me, is we're going to do some thought seeds. And what these thought seeds are just your takeaways, your own personal takeaways, rather than the ones that I just said from this session. Things, what will you change in regards to your behavior now that you've been given all these indicators and now that you've learned all this stuff about the physical environment? How will you apply that to working with families and, of course, your children? And how will you apply that to working with other team members as well as your coworkers? And there's actually one other thing that I really like to do. Like I talked about earlier, it's really important to acknowledge the fact that you guys are here and you want to learn more. And like I said, I want to celebrate that. So what I'd love to do, if everyone could take a sticky note that you have at the center of the table, and we are going to write up one thing that if you've gone through Pyramid in the past and you've already tried something new, I want to celebrate that. So go ahead and write down something new that you've tried in your classroom, and then we're going to put that up on the wall so other people can celebrate that with you. So we're going to celebrate that as a team, as a whole. And if you haven't tried anything new yet, that's okay. Pyramid's still pretty new to you. Write down something that maybe you want to try in the future. So does anybody have any questions about that? And then we can hang those up. Actually, why don't we hang them up on the door? The bright colors will stick out nicely. So take a couple minutes to do that, and then we're going to take a short break, and then Catherine's going to get started on session 8.